Next up, let's talk about two of the most common visual types in Power BI, the table and matrix visuals. So go ahead and open up your AdventureWorks report, head to the Exec Dashboard tab, and this report is looking really good, but remember that we had blocked some space down here for a little bit more granular product level detail. And anytime you want to show kind of a deeper level of granularity or visualize multiple metrics and categorical fields in one place, typically that's very hard to do with traditional visuals like bars or clustered columns or line charts. When you have that much information to kind of pack into one visual, the table or matrix is usually the way to go. So I'm going to start with a table visual, then we're going to convert it to a matrix and compare and contrast the differences. So up here in the Insert menu, you'll see these two table icons. This one's the table, this one's the matrix. The only difference is that the matrix has this blue shading on it. So let's start with the table. Let's kind of drag it roughly into place here. We're going to do some formatting later. And from a build standpoint, very, very simple. All we have is one option, which is add data to create the columns in our table. So let's go ahead and pull in a bunch of columns from our data. Let's do the category name from our category lookup, and we'll rename it with a space. Let's grab the product name as well from our product lookup, add a space, and then let's get some numerical fields, some metrics in here as well. So let's do total orders. I'll kind of simplify the column header to just orders here to save us some space. Let's grab total revenue as well. And why don't we get one more metric here showing something like returns or return rate. So I think something like return rate at the product level would be really interesting. And instead of return rate, let's just go ahead and double click. Just do a percentage sign. Again, just to be a little bit more concise with our labeling here. So from a build standpoint, that's it. And tables, as you can see, really straightforward, right? There's not much interactivity. I can click on the headers to automatically sort, product names alphabetically, but typically you'll want to sort on your numerical fields, like descending by orders, for instance. But other than that, that's about all you can do with a table. Pretty straightforward. Of course, you can format, you can style, but that's really it. Now watch what happens if we try to convert this from a table to a matrix. All of a sudden the formatting gets all crazy, right? We get this icon that says too many values. And let's see what's going on here in the build menu. Now instead of just a single columns option, we get options for rows, for columns, and for values. So to all my Excel users out there, this probably starts to look pretty familiar to a pivot table field list, right? And that's really the closest comparison to a matrix visual. And what's happening here is that Power BI has automatically put our orders, revenue, and return rate fields into the values pane, which makes sense. But we're trying to view category name on rows and product name on columns, which really doesn't make a lot of sense, right? We've got dozens and dozens and dozens of products. So we get this weird, very long and wide table that's really not very user-friendly. So all we need to do is grab product name. Let's drag it right under category in our rows. And now we get something that looks very much like a pivot table. We're looking at the data at the category level, but now we have these tools in the visual header called drill options. And we're going to dig deeper into all of the different drill options when we get into our date hierarchy fields later in the section. But quick demo here, what these let you do is drill up or down to different levels of the data based on the fields that you've selected. So right now we're looking at the highest level, category name. But if we click this double down arrow, we can go down to the next level, which is product name. Click the up arrow to go back, or we can use the forked arrow to expand all of the levels. And now we see the category subtotals here in their own rows and all of the products within each particular category. So let's go ahead and stick with the matrix view for now, just to give users a bit more flexibility. Although we actually don't need category name in this case, I just want the product level for now. So let's X that one out. And now we're looking at just products. You can kind of resize things a little bit just to fill up the space, give these columns a little bit more room to breathe. And that looks good. So we've got our matrix. Last step is to do a little bit of simple formatting here. and then we should be in good shape. So let's go ahead and drill into our format option right here. First thing I want to do is take a look at these style presets. Right now we're in the default mode, which has these banded columns and these blue kind of separator lines. In this case, I'm going to do some more fancy conditional formatting in the next lesson. So I'm going to simplify this and choose the none option. That's going to give me a nice kind of clean starting point here. I also want to make these column headers pop a little bit more. So instead of just the basic Seago font, let's go with something like a Seago semi-bold, or maybe even a Seago bold. Let's use that darker gray. That's going to make those headers really pop, which I like. And last thing I want to do is actually turn off the column and row totals. So this looks great for now. Again, we're going to do a bit more formatting in just a sec, but hopefully that helps you understand the difference between table and matrix visuals.